Welcome to another edition of Manitoba Music Makers. I'm your host, Frank McGwire. We spotlight on local musicians and independent artists making music right here in Manitoba, or the show could also consist of people that are coming through Manitoba, stopping in Brandon to play a show, thus they're making music in Manitoba. See what I did there? A little play on words, but it's all about music. It doesn't matter what genre it is. It could be country, pop, rock, metal. If you're making music, you're making it happen here in Manitoba. We want to help promote it. But you know, when it comes to the blues, my next guest is really turning a lot of heads and extremely busy these days with a calendar of shows coming up that'll make anybody dizzy. I welcome to Manitoba Music Makers today, Chris Ghidoni. Hi, Chris.
Thank you. Hi.
Thanks for coming in and doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was looking online and I saw your calendar coming up, and I'm just blown away by how many shows you've got on the calendar.
Yeah.
Now, depending on when this airs, because it is a taped show.
Yes.
Some of those shows could be long gone.
Right.
But let's talk about the ones that you've done throughout the summer, because it's been a busy one for you.
It's been very busy,
yeah.
yeah.
Talk about how busy, like we were talking off camera, you're your own agent. So, hey, A+, job well done.
Thank you very much, thank you. Yeah.
So talk about the how busy the summer was. This probably your busiest period as an artist?
Usually the summers have been pretty busy. I've been really fortunate actually since playing in Manitoba. I've had a lot of support from venues and from people coming out to the shows, from the audience and that. I've been really fortunate to play as much as I have. So usually if I have a weekend off or 2 weekends off, it's a slow summer.
Wow.
So I'm usually playing quite a bit. But it's, you kind of shoot for pretty much every weekend kind of thing as much as you can.
Yeah.
I've been able to kind of get some gigs in the last little while too that have kind of been through the week and that as well. Just playing in Winnipeg and playing in Brandon and playing Clear Lake and different places around, which has been great. It's been very busy, and I've had a nice variety of gigs, indoor, outdoor. It's been wonderful. So
you've shared the stage with some notable Canadian entertainers as of late. Valdi comes to mind.
Yep.
Let's start with that, and we'll move on to the other big names. How did that come to be? How did that come about?
Well, actually, I've played at the Riverbank Discovery Center a few times. On Canada Day, I played there with the trio, and we kind of closed the night, which was really fun. So we had fireworks at the end, which I kind of jokingly refer to as my pyro.
Wonderful.
But it was great. It was a really good turnout, and we had a really good time there. And fortunately, the folks there actually asked me back to open for Valdi, which was a real honor. It was cool because I finally got to see him play live, which was great, and I got to meet him. He's a very nice man, and just a total pro. Knows how to handle an audience, put on a wonderful show.
And what a storyteller! That guy.
Great storyteller.
Weave a yarn like no one.
He was very entertaining. He's very funny. If you have a chance to go and see him, go and see him because he's wonderful.
He's a historian too. He's like a Canadian historian. The guy's
Absolutely.
like a walking, talking encyclopedia of everything Canadiana.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I did get a chance to catch a little bit of that show. We came and I was thoroughly entertained. So you played there in front of the crowd, your crowd with Valdi. It was pretty much packed bleachers there at that wonderful venue by the Riverbank. And then fast forward to Tom Cochrane just recently.
Yeah, that was amazing too, actually. And I had kind of reached out to the Westman Centennial Auditorium and just said, hey, if you ever need an opening act for anybody, and not thinking it would like turn into that, but wow, that was amazing. I got to meet Tom. Again, very nice man, and just an excellent songwriter. I mean, he's a Canadian icon. And that was a real honor to open for him as well. Got to play at the Centennial Auditorium to a packed house, which was great. I was, the audience was great. I was well received, which was great. So they had a great time. And it's just, that was a night to remember for sure, because I finally got to play the Centennial Auditorium too, which I was really excited for. That's something I've been always wanting to, and that was the first time. So that was a bucket list check.
Wonderful venue too, nice big stage. Just everything about the WMCA
Yeah.
The few times that I've been on that stage, doing MC work or whatever, or performing.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to do a major production there, the Buddy Holly Show, about 12 years ago. And
Nice.
just everything about it, it just has
Well, the staff
such
there
a
are
cool
great
vibe.
too,
Yeah.
and the sound there is excellent. Like the acoustics, you can't get better acoustics than
Yes.
than there. So
Yeah, it's a nice soft seat venue, about 800 people. I think you can get in there. So like, I think Valdi's got a few years on Tom, but Tom, 70 now, still
He's
getting
70.
it done. I mean, did you have any FaceTime with him? Any conversation?
I did get to meet him. I did get to speak with him a little bit. Again, very nice man, and it was his guitar player was also a really nice guy, and it was great to watch them. I got to sit side stage, and I was just eyes glued to
checking the note,
absolutely. So no, that was a really great. It was just a wonderful night, and I think I haven't come down from that yet.
Cool. Well, what an opportunity too. Here you have an experience not only to open for these guys that have just been zigzagging across the country since probably before you were born, maybe, and just ultimate pros in the business. It's nice to kind of get up close and personal and observe and go, okay, mental notes to make to maybe one day get to that level, right?
Of course.
Because you talk about proficient songwriters. I mean, just
and performers, and how, again, like how Tom handles an audience. Like he did, because it was more of an acoustic show. He did a lot more storytelling and that, and he was very engaging and interesting and funny, and like he's just again, all those years of experience and all his talent and everything. It was really cool to see him do his show.
Speaking of storytelling, you recently did a show with Jerry Perkins, and let's tell us a story about that.
Yeah, that was really fun too. Actually, that was the Joe Bonamassa tribute.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which was really fun, and got to play with some different people in that group as well. And I think that was the first time Jerry and I had ever actually played together, which was really cool because he's been like a musical, icon around here for a very long time. Yeah. So, but he's doing a lot of kind of solo stuff himself, and just playing at the 34th Street Bar and Grill every once in a while, and does the jazz thing. And go check him out. He's great. Yeah. But
props to Jerry. Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about a couple more questions. And then actually, you've brought your guitar.
I have.
We can see. Do we get a shot of there it is. Oh, right there in the middle of of us there. And Chris, let's talk about musical influences before we get into hearing one of your numbers here on Triple M.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, blues is the thing that caught your ear. Was that at a very young age?
Kind of. So I grew up with some really great bands. The Rolling Stones. I grew up with Dire Straits and Tom Petty and Tina Turner and Bruce Springsteen and that and ZZ Top, of course. So a lot of that is really firmly rooted in blues and kind of more rootsy kind of background. When I didn't grow up with blues specifically, but when I was about 15, I got a gift card for A&B Sound when A&B Sound was a thing, and you could go and buy CDs there. And I'd heard the name B.B. King, but I'd never heard him. I'd never heard his music. So like, well, I've got a gift certificate, so it's not going to cost me anything. I might as well take a chance on something I've never heard before. So I went to the section, I'm like looking around, oh, there's B.B. King. So I grabbed it, I took that home, and I was like, this is really cool. Wow, so and then I went back to that section, and I got some John Lee Hooker, and I got like a bunch of other artists and stuff like that too, and found different people that way. Right. And then I started finding blues compilations with like a bunch of different artists, and that's kind of how I introduced myself into the blues. Speaking of blues, and this is a left field question, you don't know what's coming. Okay. But we did some research to get some photos for this segment. Yes. And the guys in the control room, they like to weave them into the show. Yeah. Just for a little background, to get our viewers, give them an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. Yeah. You have a dog. Your dog's name is Freddie. Yes. I'm guessing that's King, not Mercury. Everyone asks that. Freddie King is one of my favorite blues artists for sure. Fantastic. But it's actually, I didn't name Freddie because of Freddie. Okay. I actually, when I got Freddie, he was a rehome.
Yes.
And he had a bit of a rough start, and his name wasn't Freddie when I got him.
Oh.
And I thought, you know, fresh start, fresh name. I just looked at him like, you're such a Freddie. So I actually,
Okay.
it actually didn't have anything to do with Freddie King, but Freddie King is definitely one of my favorite blues artists.
And it wasn't. It also wasn't Federico, and you just made it Freddie. Freddie for
No,
short.
but I do call him Fredo the odd time.
Fredo.
Which is kind of
okay.
the Italian kind of So
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See, left field. I told
left
you
field.
there'd be
There
a
we
couple
go.
of those coming here.
I think I was on it though. I think that was good.
It was awesome. You nailed it. Before we we did musical influences, and we talked about your dog, and
Yeah.
let's talk quickly about the bands you've been in over the years.
Yeah.
Maybe just how many? Can you off the top of your head?
Quite a few.
More than a handful.
More than a handful.
Yeah,
And what's been really cool lately is how I've been able to play with different people and kind of sit in with different bands. I've been fortunate enough to have invitations to go in and play with different bands and that, which has been great because it's just playing with different artists is just it changes the perspective on things a little bit and kind of it's just a different experience and kind of it keeps things like interesting and it's really fun to play with different people and stuff.
And I find that this is odd. This is the third taping of Manitoba Music Makers, and 3 in a row I've got a former bandmate.
Yes.
So I got the hat trick. I'm 3 for 3 on this.
3 for 3.
That was a
fun
while
band.
back. That was a very fun band.
Yeah. And we got to open for Streetheart.
We did get to open for Kenny Shields and Streetheart. That was a wonderful night in Verdun at the Tundra Oil and Gas place.
That's correct. That's correct.
I remember it well. Might have some photos of that coming up. I don't know.
There we go.
Let's talk now about what Chris Ghidoni's doing now. Of course, you're a solo artist now.
Yes.
First and foremost, that's why you brought the guitar here. You're going to play a tune. So this is from your solo catalog. Maybe set up the song you're about to play for us, Chris.
Yeah, the song I'm going to play is called Broken Wing Drive. This is a song I wrote fairly recently. I've got a music video for it, and it's a fun tune. So I've been able to play it a few times just solo. The music video is a full band sound, so it's electric and there's a guitar solo and stuff in it. So it's
Who's playing the other instruments? Is that all you?
I'm doing everything. So
Wow,
I wrote the song, I recorded it, produced it, the whole thing, and then I also did all the video myself as well.
Super. So you're a singer, songwriter, guitarist, video editor, music producer, agent.
I wear many hats.
Dog rescuer. With that, let's get into the tune. Chris Ghidoni here on Manitoba Music Makers. Check it out. Turn up your TV.
Rhythm in the ceiling, yeah, you get that feeling you can't take anymore. Dogs in the corner, lying on the floor. For how long you're not sure. It's been this way a long time. Sometimes it's what you find, a lock on a broken down door. Keep to the inside, yeah, you better run and hide. That's what they warn you for. Can't
All right. Broken Wing Drive, Chris Ghidoni on Manitoba Music Makers. Chris, thanks again for bringing your guitar. We'll have another song from you live off the floor. This isn't off a CD. This is that was a single release.
Correct.
Where can people get it to help support you?
Yeah, thank you. So it's available on Bandcamp, and it's also available on Spotify and Apple Music, pretty much wherever you get your music, but those are kind of the big ones. And I have links to that on my Facebook page, so Chris Ghidoni Music. I've got that available. So I keep all my gigs posted on there, so please...
Plug. That's why we're doing the show. Yeah, promote.
Yeah, all the plugs everywhere. But
yes.
So I keep everything on there. I post lots of like venue posters and stuff like that. So with all the information on where to find me playing and that, and I'm playing as much as I can wherever I can. So yeah.
There you are. Yes, just when you check out her Facebook page, yeah, that is definitely true. Very true. Very busy gal here. So your sound, obviously blues based, but it sounds to me like you're kind of broadening the scope, as it were, with your music.
Yeah, so I guess because I've been writing more original stuff, I'm not really trying to stick to any one style necessarily. I'm basically just writing whatever comes out. And it's just going to be a natural, representation of all my influences and my little spin on things and that.
Well, I was going to ask you about what inspires you to write. Like, so you're probably... maybe a topic comes up that just kind of gets under your skin. You want to be outspoken about that. You put that into a song. I mean,
right.
that's one of the methods that a lot of songwriters do.
Of course.
And usually a very successful one, because something that really gets under your skin will come out quicker than something you got to chisel away at for weeks or months, right?
Yeah.
So is that one of the main methods on how Chris Ghidoni can put pen to paper and compose a song?
Right, well, I think the main thing, a lot of times the music kind of comes first. Sometimes the lyrics come first, but sometimes the music comes first, and I'll be playing a progression or I'll be playing a riff or something like that. And then as soon as I get a melody, then the rest of the song kind of takes structure. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll kind of find lyrics to the melody. So I'll kind of hum the melody until I get some words. And it's like, oh, that's what this song's about. and a lot of times it is something that is meaningful to me and that. Yeah. But I don't always know where it's going to go from the beginning. So sometimes it's more of an intentional, like, I'm going to write a song about that. And sometimes it just kind of naturally kind of comes out and it's like, I had no idea I felt that way about that. Or, it can come like from different places. So
it's a wonderful outlet for your emotions, isn't it?
Certainly is. Certainly is. You bet. Absolutely.
So do you remember when you first picked up the guitar? We'll backtrack a little bit here.
Yeah.
How old were you?
When I first picked up the guitar, I was probably around like 15 or so, give or take. But I didn't really get that serious about it. So I kind of messed around a little bit here and there and kind of taught myself a couple songs and kind of, just kind of played around with it. But I wasn't like really like, okay, this is what I want to do,
Gotcha.
So when I was more serious about it, I kind of left it alone for a while and kind of came back to it, and I probably around like 19 is kind of when I kind of got like more serious about it. So so a little later than a lot of other people who who do this for for a significant amount of time. But it was just really cool, and I've always been drawn to guitar since I was quite wee. So,
well, I'm glad you've continued with it, and it's kind of evolved into where we are at today. And I think this is a great opportunity for you to pick up your guitar one more time and enlighten us with another song.
Yeah.
We've also got a video we're going to share too with our audience of Manitoba music makers for this episode with Chris Ghidoni. But kind of lead us into this next song you're going to be playing on this episode.
Yeah, so this one is actually a previously unreleased song. It's one that I've written the last little while, and it's called I'll Walk Through. So this one is it's a little bit more on the poppy side, I guess. So it's a little bit different, but it's a fun song.
So we're getting like a scoop here.
You're getting a scoop.
A musical treat courtesy of Chris Ghidoni. You're catching it here first on Manitoba Music Makers.
Well, I don't know what comes next, but I sure wanna know. How much further is it to where I need to go? Well, what's around the corner? Where does this lead? What will it look like? What will I see? What will I see? Is it what I've always dreamed of? Is it something more? I guess I'm gonna find out when I walk through that door. Until then, I keep trying, do what I need to do. Someday I'll know what it means. Someday I'll walk through. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. It's been a long time coming. Soon enough I'll see. And then I'm gonna find out. Until then, I keep trying, keep working every day. Someday I'll look back on this and the places where I've stayed. Well, right now, nothing's certain. It's just the way it is. I look to what's in front of me. I focus on what is. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. Been a long time coming. Soon enough I'll see. And then I'm gonna find out. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through. I'll walk through. Someday I'll walk through.
All right. I'll walk through Chris Ghidoni on Manitoba Music Makers. That's like a first. This is like a newer tune that you've recently. When did you write that one?
Within the last couple months.
Wow.
So it's pretty fresh.
Nice and fresh. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay. Let's talk
Yeah.
about live bands. Let's talk about the live music experience, seeing as how you just finished playing one here for us at the WCG studios.
Yeah.
What bands have you, like, you're busy, but you
Yeah.
probably take some time out to go see bands. What bands have you seen within the last 6 months that turned your crank that you really enjoyed?
You know, I don't get out to as many shows as I would like because I'm usually playing. so usually I do like doing gigs where I'm playing with other bands because then I get to see other bands. That's the only
That's the only time
that's
you
the
can
only downside about playing all the time is that you don't get to see many other bands. But you know, it was a real treat to play at the Royal George in Winnipeg with Justin Aaron and Dirty Pool. If you haven't seen those guys, go and see them. They're really good. They're a great blues band. And Dirty Pool backed me up when I played it at the Royal George. It was that was a great night too.
We got a clip here from that, right?
We do.
Can
yes.
Do you know what song you're playing in this clip? Can you just lead us into it here?
Yeah, this is The Thrill Is Gone. This is by B.B. King.
Yep.
This is a song I've been doing for a very, very long time. Yeah, enjoy.
All right, the thrill is gone. Chris Ghidoni sitting in with Dirty Pool and Justin Aaron in Winnipeg. What was the venue again, quickly?
The Royal George.
Royal George. Well done. There you go.
Thank you.
Speaking of concerts and live music, let's get into the Manitoba Music Makers concert calendar. If you want to get out and take in a show, here's where you can go. Check it out. Well, it's time now for a whole new segment on Manitoba Music Makers I like to call Concert Calendar. Yeah, there are a lot of shows coming up. Foreigner will be here. They're May 14th, their Farewell Canada tour. Kelly Hansen, the lead singer. I've had a lot of people ask me, Frank, is Lou Gramm singing with? Lou Gramm was actually at Rock in the Fields this past summer, did a fantastic job. But Foreigner's been touring for many years now with Kelly Hansen. He's a great lead singer, great frontman for the band. I believe Mick Jones will be playing lead guitar with them. Hope he is, May 14th. Headpins are the support act, and yes, I do believe they still feel like dancing. Other big shows coming up at the Westoba Place. Going to be a loud night when Buck Cherry and Skid Row team up for a double banger there, Sunday, March 17th. Tickets on sale on their website. Go check them out. WMCA's got some shows coming out. Check this out. They've got the Sheepdogs Back Road Boogie. They're coming to Brandon, and the date for that one is coming up Wednesday, January 24th. Then we've got Big Sugar coming up. They'll be March 2nd. Doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. Gordy and the boys are going to be playing most of the tracks from that 500 Pound album. That, I believe, was their second album. It came out after their self-titled debut. Right On and I'm a Ram are my two favorite songs on that album. Which are yours? Doesn't matter because they're going to be playing them all from that album. Tickets available at the WMCA.ca website. Should be a good show. And then if you go later in the year in May, Queen, It's a Kind of Magic, a tribute show, a tribute act. I believe they've been here before. They darn near packed that place. So if you're a big Queen fan, you'll want a fun night out with It's a Kind of Magic. And that is our concert calendar. Thanks so much for watching. More Manitoba Music Makers coming up for you right now. Our guest this week on Manitoba Music Makers is the one, the only, the ultra-talented Chris Ghidoni. As we've discovered on this program, you're doing a lot. You're your own agent. You're writing constantly. You're touring what seems to be like constantly. You're getting out there, which is good. It's and I'm so happy to have you here. Thanks again for taking the time to be on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's been
Let's
great.
Anytime you come back when you're not touring all over the place. And
Deal.
All right.
All right.
Let's do some fun questions. I like to throw these into the segment because we don't want to be too serious all the time, right? We like to have some fun.
Absolutely.
Fun goes hand in hand with music, right? So we can have some on Manitoba Music Makers.
Yeah.
So rock star or music star.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be rock. It could be any musical genre, living or dead, that you'd love to have a supper with. Who would that be? I know that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. Yeah, because it's really hard to kind of narrow that down. Mm-hmm. But I think, there's quite a few artists that would be that would fit into that. But
how about 3 at the same table? Would that help?
3 at the same table.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it would have been really cool to meet Tom Petty.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm a big Tom Petty fan.
Sure.
Yeah, Tom
You'd have
Petty.
to be in a restaurant with a smoking section.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Patio maybe. Outdoor patio.
Patio, there you go. Perfect.
that'd be really nice, and then it's all good. Actually, Tom Petty and like Mike Campbell, for example, too.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's such a great guitar player and comes up with such great guitar parts and that, and talking to those guys about songwriting or whatever, and it could be anything, because I think they've got pretty good senses of humor and stuff too.
Yep.
But so it would probably be somebody who I would either like songwriting or like a singing influence or a guitar influence.
And what questions would you ask them?
I guess I probably wouldn't have too much of a scripted a scripted conversation, but
Have something to do with music.
it would probably have something to do with music gear would probably come up.
Gear.
Songwriting would come up. Just adventures of playing and throughout their career and stuff would probably come up. Interests they have outside of that would probably come up, just because it would be interesting, and also it gives them something else to talk about other than what everybody else asks them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah,
You would try to not to be too predictable with
I don't want to be that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next question helps viewers, find out what kind of tunes you're into, what kind of music inspires you, and it's that desert island question.
Right.
If you're on a deserted island, what 3 albums would you have? If you could only have 3 to listen to until you were rescued, what would those albums be?
3 albums. Well, it's not really a studio release album, but it's more of a compilation, but it is one of my favorites, and the Hendrix Blues album.
Okay.
I love that album. I love that album.
That's got to be one of them for
track
sure.
recommendation, Electric Church Red House, but it's got to be Cranked. But so that's probably one of them. Probably the early best of ZZ Top, because it's a lot of their 70s stuff, and there's a lot of great stuff on there. The studio recording of Blue Jean Blues is just fantastic. Just the nuance and the dynamics of that is just excellent.
Super. That's 2.
Another one, I'm kind of cheating and using greatest hits and compilations just because it's really hard to narrow down 3 albums. But maybe Aerosmith greatest hits.
Can't go wrong with that.
Because that stuff's all excellent. It's got stuff from it's great.
The 70s Aerosmith, I think a lot of people lean towards
it
that.
It is, and I mean, at the same time too, I found Aerosmith on my own, so finding, big ones is
Where
also...
did you find them?
Where did I find At Future Shop. I found them at Future Shop.
Future Shop. You didn't find them at a mall record store?
Future Shop on Vancouver Island where I found
nice.
Aerosmith. So no, I got big ones, and that was my introduction to them. Actually,
really?
I found them on my own. I didn't know about all the other stuff, and the funny thing is I thought they were a new band at that time because I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yes.
So, and then after that, it's like, oh, these guys have been around for a while.
They've been around for a while, yeah.
So then I found more stuff, but no, they're again they're a great band, and I like a lot of stuff from the span of their career and everything. But certain things, I guess it's hard to pick 3 albums.
Well, it's always a tough question, but it gives us a little insight into what Chris Ghidoni is into, and you're not playing, right?
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
kind of music you like, and maybe they have some of those same albums in their collection, so now they have something in common with you.
There you go. There we go.
We're sharing here.
So if we're ever on a patio, then
yeah, exactly.
we got something to talk about.
So that's pretty much a wrap on the show. I've just thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thanks for playing for us. Thanks for sharing your video clips. Let's talk a little bit about more where they can get your music. I know we've already mentioned it, but plug away.
Yes. All right. So if you follow my Chris Ghidoni Music Facebook page, I post everything on there. So any new music, any new videos, any new gigs coming up, anything coming up just related to music at all is on that page. So be sure to like that, and you can find out what's happening. I do have music on Bandcamp and Apple Music and Spotify, and just kind of anywhere you can stream and download. So yeah, it's available.
Excellent. And she's featured on The Spark, which has a local music file. By the way, thesparkwebradio.com is where you're going to get that, or you can find it on Facebook. Chris Ghidoni's tunes are on there. And The Spark is a co-sponsor of Manitoba Music Makers. And on that note, I should tell you, we are looking for sponsors for the show. So if you'd like to support this so we can continue this program and continue supporting local artists, we'd love to hear from you. If you're in a band and you've got some stuff that's original, you've been doing some recording, get in touch with us. It's frank@westmanzone.com. It should be there, yep. Oh, or frank@sparkwebradio.com. That'll work too. The messages will come to me, we'll get through them, and we'll schedule you on a future taping of Manitoba Music Makers. And on that note, that wraps up this taping of the show. I thank my guest, Chris Ghidoni, once again for coming on. Chris,
thank you so much.
Always a pleasure seeing you.
Likewise, thank you. Cheers.
Good luck with the rest of the touring and stay busy.
Yeah, you bet.
I know,
you bet.
I know it keeps you happy, so that's
certainly does.
important. I'm happy if you're happy. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week with a new artist and much more to talk about on Manitoba Music Makers.